Hey everyone, welcome back to Input, the only Transformers review channel on YouTube that both wrecks and rules. Let's dig into this custom figure of Rack N Ruin and go over exactly what I did to make them. So let's dig into it. Alright guys, so this is going to be a pretty one to cover because, you know, Rack N Ruin, they don't transform. So this was something that was really easy to make and not really have to worry about paint rubbing and stuff like that. Now don't get me wrong, you still have to worry about paint rubbing with this guy, with this mold. But since they're not really going to transform, you can kind of relax on worrying about the paint rub and the transformation and stuff like that on this guy. So, as you guys can see, the connection point right here. Actually, I'm going to pull Ironworks out real quick. So we got Ironworks right here. This is the mold that I used to Ironworks to create Rack N Ruin. And the centerpiece here that connects them is this piece of the gun right here. It's real simple. It becomes a 5mm peg shortly right about here, and it fits in just fine on both of them. And then the connection point right here for the anvil right here is this gun here plugged in to this arm, and then the anvil is just wrapped around this piece right here on the bottom, and the anvil is then glued in place. The hammer right here is a hammer off of Shapeways. It is two pieces. It's essentially supposed to be like a blast. You know, you put your blast effects and stuff in there as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a smashdown as well and just kind of have him hold the hammer. You know, whatever you wanted to do, and then if you wanted to do the anvil, I guess you guys can just, you know, 3D print one or something like that. But yeah, so that's what I found off of these two pieces were off Shapeways. So the other thing too is I really kind of wanted to make them different but the same at the same time. So what I ended up doing was I painted the eyes, the visor red on one of them, and then a blue on the other one. Now this is a pearl blue, so when it's in the light it's going to sparkle and just really shine. And this one is a deep metallic red, so it's going to have a very similar effect but not the same effect, if that makes sense. And then here on this guy, I left this back section gray and colored this back section green. So yeah, that's pretty much all I did. Now let's dig into paints and show you guys, you know, the colors and stuff that I picked for them for the paints. Okay, so very little paint work was done on this guy. I mean, there's actually a lot of paint to cover everything from Ironworks to make Ironworks into Rack N Ruin. There is quite a bit of paint on the guy, or guys, whatever, however you want to look at that, right? But as far as paint work, there's very little of it. So what I used for this military olive green color was from the MSP Core Colors Master Paint series. They are here in Texas, and it is called a Leaf Green 09011. If you guys don't have this anywhere, there are charts online that will cross-reference the paint numbers with different companies. But this is, you know, like a forest green, an olive green kind of. I think I would honestly say it's more of a forest green than an olive green, but there is a bit of olive green in there. But anyway, so that's the green that I used here, and as always, for the gray in the center chest, I used the Game Extra Opaque Heavy Blue Gray, and this was really easy to do. I watered this down, or thinned this down, and then just brushed it in there. And yeah, that's the paint that I used. So we went from Ironworks here to Rack N Ruin. So I mean, hey, I think it's a great choice to do Rack and Ruin with. I have seen other people use, like the drones for Triptychon and stuff like that, and those work too. I've seen people just, buy the Cyberverse figure and put them on the shelf with their wreckers, and that works too. I don't think there's any wrong way now to do Rack and Ruin at all, because you guys can, if you guys get two of the same figure, especially with the weaponizers, if you get two of the same weaponizers and you connect them in the middle and then paint them up, I don't think there's a wrong way to do this. So, as always, guys, I'll see you guys next video, next review, next podcast, next live stream, next whatever it is when I see you. Stay frosty, stay true to yourself, and as always, cut it out. Later, guys.